it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today we are going to be making another card from our March Simon Says Stamp Kit of the Month kit. And I've got some bits and pieces ready here to go, and we'll go through those as we get to it. But the first thing that I want to do is stamp some flowers. Now the reason I want to do that first, they're just going to be acting as an embellishment, but I want that ink to be nice and dry, so let's sort of get that all done, put that to one side, and then get on with the card while that's drying off, and then we can move. They should be ready by the time we need them. So I am going to be using flowers here and the leaves, and I've got my colour box inks, the lime and the sunflower, and these worked really nicely on the ink pad. On the stamps, and just really kind of inked up lovely, so that's why I'm going to use those. So I'm just going to put the flower down there, and I may as well do the other one at the same time, because I'm just going to be cutting them out, so it's not going to be an issue where they are positioned. So I'm just inking this all up. There we go. And then just gonna put that down about there. It's nice and firm press, just to make sure we get all that ink down. Isn't that pretty? And then I want to do my leaves. Actually, I need to do the centres of my flowers. So I've just taken one of the little centres. You get a couple of different choices. And because the card is yellow and black, I'm just going to take my Memento black here, the Tuxedo black, and just use that as the centre of my flower here, because I think that will just make that a nice in keeping look. Oh, that looks really nice, doesn't it? And then like so. So I think that looks good. Just show you that. There we go. So we're going to cut those out when it's all dry, and then we're going to do our leaves. So I've got the lime green for that. Now when I did the stamping before, I did sort of a couple of different colours, but I think for this we're just gonna do the lime. We're not going to do tones or anything like that. We just want it one simple look, and I may not even use the leaves. We're just gonna do them so that if I need them, they are there. Just stamp that down there. Okay, so that's all our stamping down. I shall clean up my stamps and then put this to one side, and I will be back with you in a minute. Okay, so here are the flowers all cut out and inked around the edges, so I'm going to pop those to one side now and let them dry, and then we're going to get on with the actual card. I just inked around the edges with the same colour as we stamped, so I think that just also adds a little shading around the edge, which looks kind of cool. Alright, so let's get on with the... Okay, so here I have a black card that I've made from the American letter size piece of card that was in the kit. I cut it in half and then scored and folded that in half to create, I think it's an A2 card, I'm not sure, but it's 4 1/4 by 5.5. Okay, so I want to just do the inside first, just so that that is done and out of the way, and when we're doing the front it's not going to affect it at all. So I'm just going to grab my tape pen, and I've got, this is actually a scrap piece that was left over from the pieces that I've cut for the front, so we're just going to put some of the tape on the back here, and I just want to pop that down this side. So so. And then this was one of the little journaling cards, and I just cut the top off it because it has like a grey piece across the top for the where it's attached, I guess, or like a book. Anyway, so they're double-sided, but I'm using this side so that whoever gets this card can write in it nicely, because obviously with the black that's not so easy. So again, just using my tape pen and making sure it's all around the edges, and then popping that sort of centre but slightly towards the top. Okay, so I think that looks fun, and this is one of the patterns that we're using on the front, so that's just going to link that all up together nicely. And as I say, that was scraps, so I haven't really got any sizing on that because it was just bits that I had left over. Okay, so then, as I said, this was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this piece, again, a cut from the pattern paper in the kit, is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's just going to go down there. Now, actually, in hindsight, I could have cut this just a little bit shorter and saved myself a bit of the paper, because I'm going to be covering this piece up completely at the bottom, so you might be able to get away with doing it 4 inches by maybe even 4, maybe 4 by 4, but I've just did it like that without even thinking, as it's already cut. I may as well just pop it down. So I'm just taking my glue pen again, or tape pen. I'm just going to go around the edges and pop this down like so. I think that looks really pretty already. And then I've taken more of this pattern paper. So basically all the pattern paper came from the kit, and what I've done is I've cut it the 4 1/4 inches across by 3 inches deep, and then that's going to go like that there, but I'm going to make a pocket, so we're going to just stick it at the edges. So we're going to use something a little bit stronger than the tape pen, because things will be going in and out of it. But I also I had some scrap of the grey cardstock, and I cut that to the 4 1/4 inches across, and just however deep really, and I punched it along the edge using my X-cut scalloped punch. But again, any punch that you think would work for you to go along that edge, or just leave it plain, but I just felt it needed a little something there. So now I'm just going to again use my glue pen to stick that down, and just pop that on the back of this lovely stripe. Let's put that there because it's not quite working. And that's not quite high enough like that, so I'm just adding that there, just that little bit of scallop across the edge, I think just finishes that edge off nicely. And then the next bit I had was some of this lovely yellow, and I think that goes really nicely with our other pattern. And this is 3 1/4 by 2 1/2, so it just makes a nice, because I think otherwise that's just a little busy. So I'm just gonna, this is just going on flat, it's not like a pocket or anything, so it's literally just going over that pattern. And I'm not going over obviously the scalloped, I'm just going up to the same edge as where the black and white finishes. I think you need to just move that over a tiny bit. So you just want to make sure it's central and on that top line. There we go. And I think that just takes away some of the harshness of those stripes, but leaves enough of it showing still for it to be fun. Okay, so then I'm going to take my Cosmic Shimmer Glue. so that it's just that little bit stronger than the tape pen. And I'm going to turn my little pocket across over and just do an edge there, an edge along there and along there, so basically along the 3 sides. And then I'm just going to pat that so it's flattened out a bit, because otherwise what will happen is it'll all squidge all over the place on the actual card, and then this will just give it a chance to start to go off a little bit so that the glue is not so wet, and then when we stick it down it'll be a little bit more sticky and grippy, and it will grab onto the card underneath easier. So we'll just give that a second, and while that's just doing that, what we've also got is one of the another one of these journaling cards, and I just like that sentiment there, so I'm going to actually cut that up along that line like so, and then this way, so that we keep that piece like that, and then that will be stuck down on the front as well. So just put that to one side, that's probably done enough now, and then we're going to pop that down onto the front of our card like so. So just making sure all 3 sides line up nicely. Okay, and then just very carefully you can see then it's a little pocket, and that's going to take a couple of those journaling cards, hopefully, that's the theory, and then we're going to just pop this along the front here. It's just finding the right position, so I think that looks good. So I'm just going to use my tape pen for that. Again, it's just something nice and light, so it doesn't need anything too much. And then I'm going to line this up with the corner, sort of, because we want to make sure it's evenly spaced each side. Okay, so then I'm just going to push that down, and I just think that looks really nice on the front there, just adds a little something. And I'm just holding down these sides as well, just to make sure they're all stuck down nicely, and also to make sure it's not stuck to the inside, because we don't want that, and stick the whole thing together. Okay, so that's the front there, and then we've got 4 little yellow corners, and I'm just going to grab them. Now basically all I did with this is I had a piece of scrap of the yellow cardstock that came in this kit, and basically what I did was I cut 1-inch squares, so like that, out using my trimmer, and then I just used a pair of scissors or a craft knife, whichever you've got, and I just cut corner to corner to create little corners. So I'm going to stick those down in my corners, and again that's just to create just a bit of interest. So I'm just going to use my Cosmic Shimmer, because where there's any little bumpy bits, that will go down nicely. Whoops. Stuck to my finger. Now if you've got dies, you could use your dies to cut these out as well. So you could have decorative corners if you wanted to, but as there was so much going on already, I just thought that I would go for a more simplistic look. And they're going right up to the edges of the corner, but you could take them to the edge of the paper that's 1/8 of an inch in if you preferred, but I like that look. Okay, so that's just really bringing the yellow in as well, which is kind of cool. And then I've got 2 of these journaling tags, I don't know what we would call them, but pieces anyway, and they've got blanks on the back so they could be written on by the person that gets this card, takes the card, so they could put extra messages on there. And I've taken one with the black silhouette on it, and then I've got one with a nice message on it as well, and they're going to just sit into the card like so. Or if you wanted, you could do it the other way around, so the picture shows. But it's kind of like that. But obviously what I want to do is just make sure this is all dry before I pop those in, but that's what they're going to do. And then the other thing I was looking at, as you know, because I did the stamping, was just to add some flowers and leaves onto my card here. So I'm going to use my glue gel to pop those down so that we've got a little dimension and height to it. So I'm just grab my little tool and use that to stick that down. Okay, it's a little bit on the back of the leaf there. Let's put that down like so. And my other leaf, not quite so high on this one, so we get all different dimensions. So, okay, and now we get this flower. Pop a big blob of glue on each side of our flower here, like so. There we go, and then do the 3 leaves. Okay, and then the last leaf, I don't want too high, so just a small amount of the glue gel. Just using the liquid pearls that came in the kit, I'm just going to add some little dots of pearl into the centre of our flower. Again, just to give it a little dimension. And the same over here. So basically I'm going in the centre and then one on the end of each of the little black bits that are on the stamp there. And then I'm going to go onto our little bits of yellow here, like so. So I need to make sure they dry before we put our little bits in. And I do want to add a ribbon on this, and also a paper clip or something like that on there as well. So I'm just going to go and grab those so that I can finish the 2 tags off, and then they can all be drying. Okay, so I have got a little yellow ribbon which I think I'm going to attach to this. So let me get my glue gel, because that will hold it down the best, and we'll just take a small amount of that and pop that in the middle of our lady at the top there, and just pop that bow down there like so. So that'll hold that in place nicely. So that's just going to bring that yellow up into the card, which is really cool. So we've got several different tones of yellow going on, and then I've got this lovely little gold paper clip. So I'm just going to put that there. There we go. So we've just got a little paper clip on there, so that just makes it look nice, and it actually gives it some strength to just grab hold of it to pull it up as well, which is quite cool. So put that there, and then the other thing that I've got is this lovely yellow stickles. It is called I don't know, it doesn't have a name, it's yellow. And I thought it would be really nice just to add some yellow stickles to the flowers here. I think it will golden them up a bit, which is great, because it will bring it into more in the tone of the rest of the card, but more importantly it will be sparkly, and I think that will look gorgeous. And then, oh, I just caught that. Oh, how annoying. Okay, so I just accidentally smudged the black on the edge of the little corner here, and actually it made me realise that I didn't care for the black little dots in the corner anyway. I like them on the flower, so I actually just removed those very carefully with my craft knife, just scraped it away and put a little pearl in the corner instead, and I think that looks a lot nicer. So I'm now just finishing off my flower as well. Let me show you that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the sparkle on that, and you can see the corner of the pearl. I think that looks a lot softer, less harsh. So I'm pleased in a way that that happened, because it made me realise what was slightly bothering my eye. Okay, so then doing the second flower with this gorgeous glitter, and I really think that makes a huge difference to how this card looks. Okay, so now that's it. So let's just put very carefully, because I don't want to damage anything, but just to show you how it looks, let's just put our little that just also tells me I want my paper clip the other side, or do I? Do I perhaps want to do that? That would look kind of cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, so I think that paper clip looks really cool there, and it means also that we are holding our cards in position as well, which is kind of helpful. I'm definitely much happier with the pearls in the corner instead of the black. I think that's just softer and it works really nicely, and I love the glitter on there. I think what's happened with that is that my yellow was a nice yellow, but it wasn't quite the same as this. By having the glitter, it's picking up the tone of the yellow that's in the ribbon, the tone of the yellow that was stamped, which you can still see, plus the yellow here and the card. It's basically bringing all those yellows together, because the glitter is so many different colours. So I think that's why it works so well, because it makes that all so cohesive. So that is our finished card. I think that it looks really pretty. I know these are sticking out the edge. If you are in the US, I guess you'd have to squidge those in a bit to go in the envelope, but because over here I put that in an A6 envelope, I will have enough space around the edges because that's slightly bigger, so that's not going to be an issue for that to look like that. But in the event you can easily just push those in nice and straight. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed making this card with me. If you have, I'd love it if you could give the video a thumbs up, because it all helps for me with YouTube, and obviously the more views I get, the more videos I can do. Okay, and also if you have enjoyed it, I'd love to hear your comments as well, because I would really like to hear from you. And don't forget, do pop over to my website, and the link for this corresponding blog post will be in the paragraph below the video if you're on YouTube, because there'll be lots more photographs, plus there'll be all the links for the products, etc. there as well. So, and there's loads more on there on the website as in general, so it'd be lovely to see you over there as well. Alright, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.